I'm Collin Rieck, and you're watching OU Nightly. Weather whiplash is the headline today after yesterday's warm weather has made its way out. We saw temperatures fall as much as 25 degrees in some areas, 20 in Norman. A very chilly start to the day today. Middle 60s across the board, and that's kind of the story as we go into the weekend with this warm up on the way. Here's that warm air mass that's going to move out of the south and bring us to those warmer temperatures. 70 in Dallas, 66 in Norman, and the further up you go, the higher those temperature anomalies go, being above average. So the sun is sticking around for now, but that is going to change into the overnight hours. We're going to get down to 61 degrees, and then right around 9-10 p.m. we're going to watch the weather closely for some potentially severe thunderstorms moving through our area. As we time this out on Futurecast for you, heavier thunderstorms are going to move in around 11 p.m. tonight. Round 2 will be tomorrow morning into the very early morning hours, so expect a messy commute tomorrow. The rain's going to stick with us all day, and then maybe some snow into the northwest portions of the state as we go into Saturday. We saw a wild warm-up today across the state. Temperatures climbing nearly 25 degrees in some areas. We climbed about 23 degrees from where we were this morning, just around the freezing mark. Tonight, we're going to see those temperatures climb all the way up to the middle 60s, and then we'll taper off in the middle 50s tonight for our low. Across the state, that's the same story. Those winds out of the south keeping us in the middle 50s. 43 up in Guyman tonight. And as we time this out tonight, we'll see those thunderstorms start to move in right after midnight, and we'll start to see a cluster of storms develop near Lawton. That'll push into our area as we get closer to the 3 a.m. time frame. I'm really thinking 3 to 4 a.m. is when we could see the strongest storms, isolated hail, damaging winds, and of course, there is a risk for a tornado or two. It's low, but not zero, so don't let your guard down. Be prepared tonight for some severe storms. For our low, much of the state in the middle 40s, Guyman at 37. Tomorrow we'll see again those warm temperatures, 78 in Norman, low 80s in some places. And our allergy report right now, trees are going to be the main allergen. So if you're feeling stuffy out there, that could be the reason. If we take a look at our extended outlook, you'll see 78 in the forecast tomorrow, 82 on Saturday. Sunday, we get to near 90 degrees. As we go through the night, here's that front we're watching. It's going to bring down this cool air mass into the overnight hours, and then a high pressure dome is going to remain in place, keeping those cooler temperatures with us. A little chilly though, so definitely have a jacket handy if you're going to be out in Norman. We do have a freeze warning in effect for our northeastern counties. That includes Miami, Tulsa, and Muskogee. That possibly could get extended into our area tonight. Tonight in Norman, it'll be a little chilly out there, 42 degrees, cold and cloudy is the story tonight. And across the state, we saw that weather whiplash today, a rude awakening for many folks in Norman and across the state. We saw an extreme temperature drop after yesterday's moderate rainfall, and we're going to see those cold temperatures linger with us across the state tonight. And then as we take an even wider look this weekend, you'll see that warm air mass making its way back, maybe some humidity on Saturday with that warm air, which could cause possibly some severe weather. We're looking at right now the possibility for a slight risk on Saturday. That's a level 2 out of 5 on the Storm Prediction Center scale. I expect this to change as we get more model data through the next couple of days, but we'll keep you posted here at OU Nightly. And to recap on your 7-day, we see that gradual warming trend, 62 tomorrow, getting up to the middle 70s by Friday. Saturday, we see that rain chance with the slight risk. Sunday, middle 70s, and Monday, possibly some clouds for your solar eclipse. I think the tornado threat is lower if these storms can congeal into a line, but if we do have some isolated rotating cells within that line, we could see that tornado threat as those storms push on off. They'll get into Tulsa around 7 in the morning, and again, here's that Boeing shape we're going to look for. Usually a Boeing segment like that will indicate some stronger winds ahead of that line, some of which could be destructive. Here's the rest of the night tonight with just some clouds moving in, and then we start to see maybe some heavier showers near McAllister, thunderstorms possibly, so you may wake up to some thunder and lightning tomorrow morning. That moves up into Tulsa, and then we see the rest of this system make its way on out by Thursday in the afternoon hours. Maybe we'll see some sunshine come in as those clouds clear out. The ingredients are in play where I do think we could see this risk increase as we go throughout the day on Saturday, and we also have that flash flooding risk, a moderate risk in play on Saturday. And timing this out for you on Futurecast, we'll see storms start to fire off in the morning. These should be below severe limits, and that may play a role into how many severe thunderstorms we could see on Saturday afternoon. But if all the ingredients come together, we do have the ingredients in play for a significant weather day on Saturday. Aside from that, temperatures in the upper 70s with those thunderstorms, and on Sunday we'll also be in the upper 70s with clearing out as we go throughout the day, and then the future rainfall, we'll see heavier amounts further east. Muskogee, possibly up to 4 inches of rain. 25 millas por hora el sábado, y luego el domingo vamos a ver esos vientos aumentar hasta casi 40 millas por hora, y con eso tenemos un poco de un peligro de incendio que estamos mirando Tenemos este aire calor y húmedo que va a venir del sur este fin de semana por la mayoría del estado y con eso el choque entre el aire frío y el aire calor va a causar un chance para tormentas fuertes, casi posiblemente severas en algunos lugares y con eso este va a ser un riesgo de todas modas, todas formas. Entonces riesgo para vientos fuertes, granizos, atamayas grandes y también la posibilidad de un tornado. Y mañana vamos a ver temperaturas también un poco frescos, 54 en Norman, 51 en Gaiman y con un chance de lluvia y en algunas partes noroeste del estado un chance para una mezcla invernal en Woodward y Enid y luego la lluvia más fuerte nos va a llegar mediodía mañana y la semana que entra vamos a ver esas temperaturas subir de nuevo a los 80s. Yo soy Collin Rieck y esto fue su resumen del clima en español. Gracias. Su pronóstico de cielo esta noche en Norman vamos a ver lluvia y tormentas con una temperatura a 51 grados en Norman esta noche y por el resto del estado vamos a ver esa lluvia en algunos lugares más fuerte y con esa lluvia fuerte en algunos lugares tenemos un riesgo para inundaciones en Oklahoma City y Norman y luego en el sur en Lawton, Ardmore y Idabel tenemos un riesgo un poco más alto, nivel 2 de 4, un riesgo ligero mañana para inundaciones en esas partes. Por su resumen de 7 días vamos a ver esas temperaturas aumentar a casi 78 grados el viernes, sábado a 80, domingo a 85 temperaturas parecidos como el verano y luego por la próxima semana vamos a ver esas temperaturas todavía a 82 grados y 79 el martes. Yo soy Collin Rieck y esto es su resumen del clima en español por Unitely. Esta noche en Norman vamos a ver esos cielos nublados, 64 grados en Norman y por la mayoría del estado vamos a ver esas temperaturas en las 60s, 53 en Gaiman y en Miami 64. Mañana vamos a ver esas temperaturas en las 70s, las 80s en unas partes con lluvia en la tarde. Un riesgo ligero en Enid hasta Lawton donde podemos ver tormentas con vientos fuertes, granizos y también la posibilidad de tornados es más alto aquí en Woodward y Elk City y luego cuando esas tormentas vienen por la noche mañana vamos a ver un riesgo para viento y granizos. El riesgo de tornados es más bajo pero no es cero, entonces vamos a prestar atención a esas tormentas cuando pasen mañana. El sábado también tenemos otro riesgo para clima severa aquí en Norman y por su resumen de 7 días tenemos un riesgo para tormentas el jueves y luego el sábado también con un riesgo de clima severa, pero empezando la semana que entra vamos a ver sol con temperaturas en las 80s. Yeah, Chloe, thank you for that. I know you were just noting that rotation increasing on radar, and we're hearing now from the National Weather Service a tornado warning is incoming for the circulation at the McLean and Grady County line. There is a tornado debris signature being reported on radar from the National Weather Service. So if you're in those areas, we're expecting to see a tornado warning being issued in a moment or two. National Weather Service is working on that now. But again, that was the area you were just mentioning on camera. And, you know, Taylor, it's crazy how in these situations, you know, with this kind of environment, things can, you know, weaken and then strengthen again so quickly. So definitely something to pay attention to tonight. Don't let your guard down as these storms make their way in because they can look weak at one moment and then a couple minutes later they're, you know, about to get a tornado warning. Yeah, thanks, Chloe. I know you were just talking about that new tornado warning that is just to our south. And actually, just as you were talking about that, we saw Campus Safety is now tweeting that the tornado warning is on our doorstep. Does not include Norman yet, but it is probably going to be extended into Norman if that tornado debris signature and the rotation stays on radar. Yes, thank you, Chloe. We're just seeing now from National Weather Service tornado warning for Cleveland County, including the city of Norman, is imminent. Tornado warning is on the way. So if you are in Norman, now is the time to seek shelter. A tornado warning is imminent, about to be issued. Actually, just issued now. Hail up to size 1.75 inches.
Oh, there
and there goes the tornado warning now. So if you're on campus, now is the time to seek shelter.
Yeah, sorry for all the phones.
So if you're on campus, seek shelter now. Interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. And of course, if you are on campus, now is the time to go to the designated storm shelters. If you're in the on-campus living facilities, Couch and Walker have those storm shelters. Cross has the storm shelters. All the dorms on campus. So find those shelters now because we are now in the tornado warning in Norman. Chloe, back to you. All severe hazards today, some more significant than others, but let's look at the ingredients in place right now. We've got warm, moist air moving out of the south, and that's colliding with some dry air behind this dry line, and that's going to be the setup that's conducive for supercell thunderstorms today, capable of all hazards. Those will be the initial storms tomorrow before they go into more of a linear mode. We've got moisture at low levels, and then that strong updraft is going to bring rain into the upper levels of those storms, and really, it's cooler the higher up you go into these cells and that's where the rain will freeze into ice and grow into larger stones. And once they get heavy enough, they fall down as hail. And really, because those updrafts are so strong, that's why we're so concerned for that large hail threat. Extreme hail risk in effect today, where we could see hail possibly up to baseball size in some areas. So definitely be on the lookout today for that hail. Carlin's got more on timing. Carlin, what's it looking like this afternoon? So now is the time to prepare, to know a safe place to go to avoid that baseball-sized hail and also the tornado potential. A basement, a storm shelter, an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building is going to be your safest area. It's not safe to be in large open rooms outside or in any non-rated shelter area. So keep that in mind today as you're going about your day. We are also in this slight risk region for severe weather tonight. All modes of severe weather are in play this evening, so we're going to pay a close attention to that. Let's time this out on Futurecast for you. You'll see some storms developing near Lawton right around 3, 4 in the morning. Those will start to push into our area right around 4, 5 a.m. And again, all threats are possible. Isolated large hail, damaging winds, and of course a brief spin-up tornado cannot be ruled out with these storms. So definitely keep in touch with the weather this evening. Have multiple ways to receive warnings. This just in, we have a tornado watch for our western counties. This does not include the city of Norman yet, but we'll see that watch extended into our area later today as severe weather makes its way into our area. This is a particularly dangerous situation for everyone in this watch area. The Storm Prediction Center is expecting to see possibly some violent tornadoes this afternoon, and we have a very high risk today for severe weather in Norman. Let's take a look at radar right now and see where those warnings are. We're watching right now these tornado warnings just north of OKC, making their way into the Enid area. We've been tracking those for a little bit now, and now the main focus is going to be down at what's going on near Lawton. These cells here just southwest of Lawton are developing and moving northeast, and they're on a direct track towards Norman. So we're going to keep an eye on these storms over the next couple of hours as they intensify and gradually make their way into our viewing area. Now's the time to think about where you're going to go, make that severe weather plan. Of course, you'll get warnings on your phone, and No Weather Radio is a great source of information for severe weather warnings from the National Weather Service. And if you do have to seek shelter, an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows is the safest place. If you don't have underground shelter, of course, if you have access to a basement or an underground shelter, that is going to be your safest option. And as you go through the night tonight, think about where those designated shelter areas are on campus. All of our on-campus living facilities do have designated shelters. They're listed here: Couch and Walker Towers, Cross, all the dorms. In fact, even the football stadium has shelters in place as well. Protesters gathered at the Oklahoma State Capitol after Next Benedict's death was ruled a suicide. They believe the rhetoric of the state superintendent, Ryan Walters, is making LGBTQ+ students targets of bullying.
And I know I'm excited for the Easter weekend, especially because I'm going to be sitting out by the pool. Maybe instead of Easter egg hunting, getting some of those Cadbury eggs. What are you guys looking forward to?
I think I'm just going to have a nice, relaxing evening and eat me some good food. What about you, Colin?
Yeah, I just enjoy the weekend, enjoy the nice weather, and thanks for that forecast, Drake. It's all looking really nice. With Easter just around the corner, Cadbury has announced this year's bunny winner, but it wasn't a bunny at all. The winner, Louie, a 2-year-old raccoon from Florida, was dressed in bunny ears and was one of many candidates voted on. Posing for his winning photo, Louie will star in a commercial for the Hershey Company, and along with his debut, a $7,000 cash prize. Louie is not the first non-rabbit to win the contest. Previous contestants included a cat, several dogs, and even a frog. The transfer train to OU men's basketball has a new passenger, and we'll have who next in Big Friday Sports. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has altered the U.S. Congress a, quote, victory in Gaza in the next couple of weeks. Netanyahu also added that Israel must move into Rafah due to, quote, the country's existence on the line, end quote. Monday afternoon, skies across campus could go from this to this in just a matter of seconds. And that's because we're tracking the 2024 total solar eclipse that's going to eclipse much of Oklahoma. This will be the first total eclipse in the continental United States since 2017. And what that is, for our viewers who don't know, is when the moon goes in between the sun and the earth, casting its shadow across the globe. And that shadow is going to eclipse much of Oklahoma on Monday. In fact, some of our southeastern counties will be in the path of totality. That path of totality will stretch across much of the country, and in this purple shaded region is where we'll see that total solar eclipse.